Okay, so here is another VEX program, another way to control motors on your VEX robot. So the previous lesson involved the drive forward command. And look, when you're driving around with a robot, you're basically looking for rotational movement, and you want to go you want to have enough rotations to get you where you want to go. And the drivetrain worked pretty good for that, the drive forward. Today we're going to take a look at something called spin to position. And I have my setup here so you can see the way that the CS2N lesson describes this is for an arm, something that's lifting. And you can imagine that if you're just lifting, you're not going to want to go around and around and around. You're just going to lift to a certain point, but then also hold at that point. And so this is for some kind of lifting arm. It would be more appropriate for that. So first of all, don't forget we're going to configure our robot with this button up here. And it's already made, but so when we say arm motor, this could have been left motor or right motor. But if you're lifting, we said, okay, that would be an arm. Now, let me just, I'm going to call this left motor for the time being. And say done. Notice it's on number 8. So over on my setup, I have to make sure that if I want that motor, if I configured it in the code on 8, I've got to put it into port 8. Or it's not going to work. So the physical robot must correspond to the configuration. So we have it on 8. Fine. Now remember, I called this. Right now it's called arm motor, but I'm going to call it left motor. And I'm going to say done. Let's see what it does. Yeah, call it left motor. Now look here. If I were to, in the code, refer to arm motor, it's giving me a red, it's going to highlight in red. It's telling me that that is an error because it doesn't recognize that. What will it recognize? Whatever I called it up in configuration. And I'm going to have to call it exactly. Notice it's even filling it in for me, self-populating it. And so I'm going to hit enter and say left motor. But the program doesn't want left motor, so I am going to go back and do it the way they wanted it to be, which was arm motor. And I'm going to say done, and it's on port 8. So this time, let's try arm motor. Enter. Not sure why that's giving me an error at this point, but let's say that so there are a few things you need to do with your arm motor for the set spin to position. First, arm motor dot, we're going to click down here, set stopping, and then it says mode. So let's just say set stopping, enter, and there are 3 possible ways. So when you stop a motor, you could brake, which stops it right away. You could coast, which lets it keep on rolling a little bit. And then hold is not only going to stop, but it's going to hold that position. And in this case, this is what we want. And then we have arm motor. And we're going to say spin to position. And then we have value and units. Value is just going to be a number. Units could be inches, I believe, or millimeters. Let's try. And in this case, so we're going to say 180 for the number. And we're going to say degrees. I wonder if it would let us do inches. Nope. In spin to position, this has got to be degrees. It's the only option it's giving us. There's something called set timeout. So arm motor set timeout, and we have time and units. So let's say 5 and seconds. Set timeout, I believe it's going to want to turn 180 degrees, but if it's never getting there, it's going to stop pushing, I think, after 5 seconds so that you don't burn out the motors. And finally, that's it. Okay, so set, stop, and hold. This means after it gets to its position, it's going to hold it there. Timeout is the length of time that it gives it to keep on trying. And spin to position is how far. In this case, 180. And let's go ahead and shrink our screen a little bit. And now we've got our setup over here. And we're going to run this. And so go ahead and download. There's something down here that it didn't like. These were just some comments that I was using for myself, so let's try this. And this time it worked. And watch my system over here. 180 degrees is what it should go. This is great for pretty precise movement. Let's try that again. It's right there, and we move 180 degrees. Almost exact, well, probably exactly 180. There's 180. There's another 180. 180. There's another 180. So that's it. That's called spin to position. Don't forget, this is helpful too. If you're lifting something and there's still weight on it, you're going to want to hold it and not let it start sagging afterwards. So this could be a pretty useful